Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, if we've got people in the land of Zoom out there. My name's Jennifer Merli. I'm a Vice President of Sustainability at Mastercard. I wanted to talk to you today about some work that we're doing in the field of sustainability, but not just in the field of sustainability, but in the field of our everyday work. So you may ask, what is Mastercard's sustainability mission? And it's not just our sustainability mission, it is our business mission, and that's to build a digital economy that is sustainable and inclusive for people everywhere. And from a sustainability strategy standpoint, that really guides the work that we do in climate action and our financial inclusion work and the work that we're doing for social impact. But increasingly, we're seeing it reflected in the solutions that we're building for our partners and our bank customers and consumers every day. So I wanted to show you in this brief talk this morning about a few things that we're doing to help nudge consumers in ways that we think can add up to bigger impact. So first, I'll start by talking about what I've been hearing a lot in sustainability forums and in the media, which is that ESG is becoming mainstream. And I think that's becoming true because we're seeing an inflection point where everyday people now know what the term sustainability means. They know that sustainability has an environmental, a social, and a governance component to it, and that businesses need to be building these foundational values into the work that they do every day. And those interests are also spread somewhat evenly, you can see, across the E and the S and the G, according to our research. So I wanted to talk particularly about the E. So we conducted this research in 2021 to gauge how consumer attitudes were changing toward the environment following the pandemic. And it showed, I think, these results are a good indication of not that people forgot about climate crisis or environmental issues during the pandemic. It reminded us of certain things. One, how quickly the environment can rebound when things like travel and transit shut down so abruptly, and how we as a global community can really respond very quickly to a global emergency. And like COVID, the climate crisis is a very real emergency. So if you look at these numbers, 85% of consumers saying they are willing to take action for the environment. 62% say they want companies to act on environmental issues and demonstrate that they're actually making real transparent change. 50% say that they would pay more for sustainable products. And 35% say they're actually making decisions based on the sustainability claims of the things that they buy for themselves and for their families. So people are recognizing that you are what you buy. And they really want brands to help them make better choices. Here's another positive consumer trend. So we looked at Mastercard's global transaction data from first quarter of 2019, pre-pandemic, to first quarter of 2022 of this year. So not only did it show that people are still buying toilet paper and alcohol in massive quantities, I'm just kidding, but that's probably still true. They're putting their money where their values are. And you can see in particular, United Kingdom had an extraordinary uplift in charitable donations, probably due in large part to the fact that COP26 took place in Glasgow, but that's really indicative of the trend that we're seeing across the globe. So that's great, but there are still behavior nudges and behavior changes that we want to see. And historically, people say they want to make change, that they want to choose more sustainable products, they want to change the way that they buy things. But when the time comes, they often don't actually do it. And that's not inertia, it's probably confusion. So sometimes greener products are more expensive, it's hard to know what to buy and from which brands. Are they actually making good on the claims that they're making regarding sustainability? And sometimes it's even hard to understand what is the actual impact of the things that you buy. So it's a lot to process. So what does Mastercard want to do about it? So first, we focus on our own operations. We are committed to net zero by 2040. We operate on 100% renewable energy. We are very focused on our mission from an ESG standpoint and have been on that mission for the last decade. But we also want to take that global payments network that we operate and use it as a catalyst for change and enabling banks, partners, consumers to help drive positive change. So we've been building products and services to do just that. So the first thing I wanted to show you is the Mastercard Carbon Calculator. It's a technology made possible by our partnership with a company called Economy in Sweden. And their technology provides the calculation of emissions approximated by your spend category. And Mastercard has plugged this technology into our global payments network. So that means every time you swipe a Mastercard, and if your bank is participating in the launch of this technology, that card is enabled for every transaction to be scored in this manner. So because I only have 5 to 7 minutes for this Spark Talk, I avoided the live demo because you never know when it's going to go wrong. So I'm just going to do a little click through. So how does it work? You get this app from your bank. The intro screens basically explain to you what are you signing up for. You know, how are we going to use your data? You give us permission. It's all opt-in. It's going to explain what you'll see and the suggestions that you might see before you sign up. So after about a billing cycle, you'll start to see your purchases summarized by category and the approximate impact that those purchases had. So you'll see how the emissions are calculated on an average per category. Obviously, some are going to be higher than others. Travel is going to look different than your apparel spend. But you're going to see the relative impact of those categories of spend, where you had the most, where you had the least impact, and with some potential suggestions on how you might mitigate that impact. But it's not all about tips and tricks. So we're deliberately trying to encourage behavior change, right? It starts with reducing emissions, and that starts with consumers, not just businesses and governments. So at the same time, we want to offer more opportunity for impact. So Priceless Planet Coalition is Mastercard's commitment, along with now nearly over 100 partners, to restore 100 million trees globally in Earth's most critical forests. As you know, and I'm sure you've heard it throughout this conference, trees are a really effective and cost-efficient means of sucking up carbon, and it's an excellent opportunity to support local economies and local communities while doing it. So I talked about that global network. We are a global network that has 3 billion cardholders, that has 90 million merchants who accept our payment products. We have 20,000 banks who issue our cards. So we wanted to amplify this cause through those channels. So within the carbon calculator, we give you an opportunity to do just that. So it leverages another technology from Mastercard, which is a donate platform. It gives you the opportunity to donate to Priceless Planet on a per tree or as many trees as you'd like to contribute toward. It makes that contribution simple and fast and easy, and it shows the impact that those trees can have. So this is just a start. There are many things that Mastercard and we as a global community can really do to solve the climate crisis. But we hope that this small start is going to lead to big changes. So in closing, I just wanted to share with you a short video from one of the projects that we're doing as part of Priceless Planet. It's in the Brazilian Amazon. We're supporting the restoration of degraded pasture land to active forest. So this is just a 1-minute video. I'd love for you to have a look at it, and thank you for having me.
Se eu tivesse filho, primeiramente eu gostaria de trazer eles aqui, né, para ver o que eu plantei aqui, né, contar as histórias que aqui já foi, uma vez foi parte e agora só como está, uma floresta maravilhosa.